Hello all. Today let's solve this LeetCode question rotate array, which is a medium level question in LeetCode. So first let's read the problem description. So here they are saying given an integer array nums, rotate the array to the right by k steps where k is non-negative. Right? So let's try to understand this with an example here. So they have given an input array of nums, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we have a number k, which is 3. So what they are asking us to do is we have to rotate this array by k steps, and then after rotation we'll be getting an array, and that array should be returned as the output. So basically the return type is what we just need to rotate the arrays in place. So let's try to understand this a little bit more. So whenever k is equal to 3, we are supposed to rotate this array 3 times. So what does that mean? It simply means we just need to take the element which is at the rightmost end of the array and then put it in the front. Okay, and we have to do this 3 times. So first time you take 7, you pop out 7 from the end, you put it in the front, and then you pop out 6 from the end, you put it in the front, you pop out 5 from the end and then put it in the front. So after all these popping and inserting operations, this will be your output. So this is all we need to do. So let's try to understand this a little bit more using example 2 here. So here we are given this input array and k. Let's try to do this. So here we have to rotate this array 2 times. So what we do for in step 1, for the first time, what we do, we take 99 from the end and we put it in the front. So my input array will become something like this: 99 comma minus 1 comma minus 100 comma 3. Now for the second time, so since we have to do this 2 times, since k equal to 2, now I'm going to take the element which is at the rightmost end and then put it in the front. So now here 3 is at the rightmost end. I'm going to pop it out. I'll put it in the front. So now it will become 3 comma 99 comma minus 1 comma 100. And this is the output that we need to have: 399 minus 100. So hope the question is clear. So let's try to solve this question. So before solving into the question, let's try to think of the intuition. So if you guys have seen this question earlier, you would have seen that there are like multiple answers that points to reversal of arrays, right? So if you look at one of the solutions here, so this is a very popular algorithm that you guys would be seeing in multiple places. So what they use is they first reverse the whole array, right? So this is a standard practice they do. They reverse the whole array, and then they will reverse only the first k elements, and then they will reverse all the elements that are present after k. So this is something which you see in multiple places online, and this solution is an optimal solution, and this will definitely work 100%. But for me, this approach was not very much intuitive, right? So if I was given this question in an interview setting, I wouldn't have come up with this algorithm by myself, because this didn't feel very much intuitive to me, right? So most people may suggest just learn this technique, and then if you get this question, you solve it straight away without thinking much. Problem is, I might forget if I'm memorizing this. After 5 or 6 months, I might forget to use this approach. So personally, I'm not going to use this approach. In this video, I'm going to explain something which I felt intuitive. So I'm going to explain that. So first, let me explain my intuition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a temporary list with me. Okay. So I'll tell you why I'm going with a list. So when I say list, I will specifically be using array list. All right. So it will be like this. So first, let me write the code, and then I'll explain the intuition alongside. Okay. So I'll be having something like this. So first, let me take the length. Int length equals to nums dot length. All right, and I'll be having a list here. Okay, so the intuition is something like this. I'll be having an index which is equal to length minus 1. So why do we need this? So as I mentioned earlier, we always need to take the elements from the end, and then I have to put it in the front. So I need to know the index of the last element. So when I do length minus 1, it's going to give me the index of the last element. I'm going to have that in a variable which is called as index. Simple. So now this is the core logic behind this intuition. So what I'll do is, while k is greater than 0, I'll be adding all my elements in this list in index 0 specifically. I'll tell you why. Okay. So if you guys know what an array list is, it uses array as the internal data structure. So whenever you have array as the internal data structure, you can read elements using indices, and if you're using array list, you can add or remove elements using the indexes, right? So you have that O of one lookup here, right? So why I use list of add with index 0 is whenever I add any element to index 0, whatever element that is already present in index 0 will be shifted one step towards the right. So what do I mean by that? Let's say initially my list is empty. So what I do, I first take out the last element from the nums, which is 7, and then I put it here. So now 7 is at index 0. Now in the next step, I'm going to pop out 6 from the nums, and then again I'm going to put 6 at index 0. So if I'm putting 6 at index 0 again, it is not going to override the number 7. Rather, it will put 6 in the front, and whatever element that was present in index 0 already, it will be shifted one step towards the right. Okay, it will not override, it will just shift one element to the right. So now when I take number 5 and put it at index 0, now 5 goes in the front, and whatever element that was present towards the right will be shifted one step. So now as you can see, after the end of 3 steps, I have 5 6 7 as my starting numbers in the list. So in the result also, you could see it starts with 5 6 7. So this is the core intuition that I'm going to use, right? So every time I put my numbers at index 0, so that all elements get shifted one step towards the right. So hope this logic was clear, right? So I need to do this exactly for 3 times. So what I'll do, I'll just decrement k with minus minus, so that this while loop runs exactly 3 times. And also once I'm done with this index, I need to go to the next index. So that's why I'll also do nums minus minus. Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. But there might be certain cases where k becomes less than 0, but still you have some numbers left out. So what do we mean by that is, if you look at the constraints, the length of the input array can be anywhere between 1 to the 10 to the power of 5, and k also can be between any value from 1 to 10 to the power of 5, which means k's value can be greater than num's length value, or case value can be less than num's length value. So either of those possibilities is possible. So just to be on safe side, we don't hit with the index out of bounds exception. What I'll do is, I'll have if k less than 0, I will reset my index to length minus 1. All right. So this is just a safety check here. So what do you mean by this is, like, let's say you are decrementing k, and let's say you have reached the end. All right. So there are like no more elements. What do I mean by that is, let's say you have index 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So this is your first index, which starts with 0. So whenever you do index minus minus, whenever you do index minus minus, so 0 becomes minus 1. So minus 1 is not a valid index in the array. So in that case, I just reset my index to the last element. That is what I do here. Length minus 1 will always give me the index of the last element. So this is just a safety check that I have. All right. Okay, so now my list is ready. Now what do I do? Once my list is ready, I have to put the remaining elements, right? So let's say I have rotated these 3 elements, 5 6 7. So my list is having 5 6 7 now. Now I have to put all the remaining elements, which is 1 2 3 4. As you guys can see, this one starts from the start of the array. So what I do, I have a for loop, which is int I equals to 0, I less than or equal to index I plus plus, then I just say list dot add nums of I. So why do I do that? So so 5 6 7 already got put in the front. So we just need to take these elements from the nums, which is 1 2 3 4. So this is starting from the starting point of your array. So that's why I use int I equal to 0. Now I need to go only till index, because we have already rotated these elements, we have already popped out these elements, and we have put it in the front. So we don't need these elements, 5 6 7 elements anymore, right? So we just need elements only till 4, right? So how do I know that? You will know that by index, because index got decremented 3 times. So from here it went one step here, and then two step here, and then third step here. So my index is already in place 4. So I just need to loop till 4. That's what I'm doing. And notice that I'm not using index based approach. I'm just simply adding the number to the list, which means all the numbers will be added to the end. Okay, so now my list is ready. But as you can see, this method does not like return anything. We just need to update the nums itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a handy method in Java, which is system.arrayCopy. So first I'll convert this stream to an array. Okay, list dot stream dot okay, I think map to int. I think this is map to int integer dot int value to array. All right, and this is my source and this is my destination, and so this is actually your source array, and this is actually your index from which index it needs to copy, and this is your destination array, which is nothing but my nums, and again this is the source index, and then length which you have here. All right, let's try to run this. All right, this got accepted. Okay, so if you guys are not aware of this array copy method, it's actually very simple, guys. So what it accepts is it accepts a source array first. So here my source array is this. So I'm converting my list to an array, and then it asks for the index. So I need to copy from index 0. That's why I give as 0. So it's your start index, and then it asks to which array it needs to be copied. It needs to be copied to nums array. So I just put nums. It also asks from which index in nums it needs to copy. I need to copy from the starting index of nums, and up to which point it needs to be copied. It needs to be copied till the end. So that's why till length. So this is the um, parameter or arguments that array copy accepts. So let's try to submit this. Okay, I got an error which is index -1 out of bounds. So let's try to understand why we got this error here. So this is the case which is nums is -1, and then you have k is 2. Okay, so in this case we just need to, okay, so let's dot add nums 0 k minus minus, and then you have index minus minus, index equal to length -1. All right, so what we can do is if my length of the array is um, less than or equal to 1, then there is nothing to rotate, right? So if my array itself is having only one element, then there is nothing to rotate. I can just simply return. So let's have that base condition. Mhm. Again, there is an error. Let's see. Okay, so we made a small typo mistake here. It's not a typo. So instead of checking k is less than 1, we are supposed to check index is less than 1, right? Because only when the index goes out of bounds -1, we have to reset it to length -1, right? So that is something which we have missed. So let's try to submit it now. All right. So again, as I said, this is not a very optimal solution. As you can see, the runtime and the percentage is not that great. But then this felt intuitive to me, so I just wanted to share it with you guys. Thank you.